Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with the 63 ragtop restoration, and we're going to be starting on the floor pans, hopefully getting them installed in this video, maybe the next one. But let's go take a look at what we're working with. Now here's our chassis. We are outside here. I put it outside a little bit ago and it got snowed in, unfortunately. No big deal because we have a lot of rust work to do on it. As you can see, the floor pans are cut out. I did that in a previous video that I believe has been posted, and it's really not that bad. The Napoleon's hat is just fine, front and rear. The flange is good. And these things, the rear outriggers, those are not fine. So we're going to have to replace those. Now what I'm going to do today, because as you can see it's getting dark, is we're going to make templates because I have to remove the tar boards from this tunnel. Now normally I would recommend you don't do this. Previously they were not making reproductions. Supposedly you can get a kit now. I don't know the quality of it. I'm going to have to get it. But I'm going to make templates so that, I have what the originals are supposed to be, and I can use those templates to cut the new ones if they aren't how it's got to be. So let me get some paper and I'll show you that. We're going to make templates of these tar boards. Now there's 1, 2, 3 tar boards on a chassis. I've just got some masking paper here, and I started pulling the old one off, and I realized that it wasn't going to come off nicely like I hoped it would, so this is what we got to do. Well guys, it's getting really windy out there, so I'm probably going to stop for tonight and do this last 2 tomorrow after work. But these, well, this is just the front. This one is done. As you can see, we've got the hole cut there. That's for the shifter and the heat control knob bar. And you move up front, and that's where the accelerator cable comes out. Otherwise, all straight edges. Basically, this is just to make sure we have all the correct round contours where they need to be. And really, if you're doing this on a car that you just want to drive and you're not as ridiculous as me, you can probably just make it happen while you do it. I'm just ridiculous, but that's that for now. Now this past week I was able to clean the garage every day after work, and I have rearranged, and we have so much room over there now to work on things, and we are going to get it done. I'm planning on doing all the metal work on the ragtop this winter, and that starts with the chassis. So previously, I cut out the floor pans. I think that made it into a video, and I even used the S-Welder plasma cutter to do it. And that was like a year or 2 ago I did that. Then I did the engine bay that I don't think you've seen yet, and you will see that. There's some clips, and I'll just make some video of it if I haven't got the clips. But we're going to work on the floor pans. Now the deal is, if you don't have to, you try not to replace this. In my case, I have to. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some measurements just to make sure everything's in line when we go back. We're going to mark where the old one is on this area here, and let's get on with that. Now luckily, I do not have to replace the Napoleon's hat. So all I have to do is measure, approximate, 169 to the center of that bolt. Yeah, the center is kind of right where that is. So we're just going to go with that, actually. I took it. That is a 20 bolt. Yeah, we're at about 169.5 to the center. So, let me check the other side just to confirm. So, we've got that in our heads. So, I'm going to break out the tram gauge just to double down, and we can start cutting, I suppose. Alright guys, so we trammed it out. Our tram gauge, which is a tool you probably don't have if you're a do-it-yourselfer, is 1/690. So 1696.5, 1697 millimeters. This trim gauge I measured is 3 off, so 1695, right in the ballpark. A couple millimeters is perfectly in tolerance. So let's get going. So as you saw, I just ground out the seam sealer. That's a front thug, you don't need that, just get a wire wheel. So what you're working with here on these is a solid weld up, a short solid weld here, a spot weld, and then a few spot welds here on the bracket. Now when you cut this off, grind the spot weld, drill the spot weld, do whatever you like to do, but don't just cut it, because that bracket is part of the frame. You don't want to do that, because then that's just hanging around doing nothing. So you want to either drill them, grind them, do something. This you can grind or cut next to for the seam welds. And you know, spot welds as you please. So we're going to cut this off now. As you can see, I put some blue paint. That's so I can relocate the new one roughly to where the old one is. However, I did take a measurement from this hole to a locating hole on the front, so there's really no way I can mess it up. So let's start grinding. I've got myself a belt grinder. Air's leaking because this fitting, I had a different fitting and it blew off. So, but we're just gonna grind and make it and get rid of it that way. Not that difficult to do. And there you go. Gotta do a little grinding, get that last little bit off. So this part is a perfect example of why you can't always trust aftermarket. So as you can see, my blue paint goes right about here. That's where the old one was. There's the old weld, there's the old weld there. Now, according to my measurements, my tram gauge, this is where it ought to be, from here to the outer hole over there. And this one is where it ought to be to the third hole in there. Look how far off that edge is to there. How that arch does not match even close. And similar on this side. Now this is a Wolfsburg West piece. You can see how much extra flange there is here. Now I'm not going to say anything about that really, because I can't imagine all of these were trimmed the same from the factory, and who's to say they didn't just weld it and burn the edge until it fit. But that's where it ought to be, so that's where it's going to be. But that just shows not everything is always going to be exactly how the original panels were pressed. Alright guys, so we were able to weld this brace in here. You saw me position it and clamp it, and I just welded it in. I did 2 plug welds here, the bead there, bead on the side, just like factory. Now I cleaned this up, this flange here, with wire wheel, grinding this to get any of the remnants of the old spot welds from cutting the pans off. And now I've just got some acid on there to help neutralize any rust. Alright guys, so we have the chassis here at work. We've got it on the car liner, and we are going to start spot welding. Now the driver's side pan is all prepped and ready to go. The passenger side is not, and I will show you what is entailed with prepping for spot welds. But let me move you over and show you the spot welder, and we'll get it set up. Alright guys, so this is a spot welder. This is a GYS spot welder, and we've got to set it all up. So we've put a different arm on it. This is a G5 arm. It's a big one, so we can do the chassis. So all we got to do is we got to go through here, pick which arm it is, click, and then calibrate it. We are ready to go. So let me put you up so you can see the floor pan. that spot welding. So here's what they look like from the top side, just like factory. You come underneath, just like factory. Alright guys, and here we are. The floors are in, we're done. I primed up where the welds were just so they don't rust over the winter. And as you can see, the body is back on because we are going to start the rest of the metal work, and this was an important piece. So overall, I am extremely happy with how the pans turned out. The fitment of the pans, but the overall job being done now, they look good, so can't complain too much. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed seeing the spot welder in use, putting pans in just like the factory did 60 years ago. It's a lot easier than MIG welding them. No cleanup really, no grinding, none of that. Just do it and forget it. It's done. It looks good, just like factory. Little dimples right where the welds are. So, like I said, that's going to wrap this up, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.